Uh, Today, our topic of discussion is big data analytics and business. I can divide this topic into basically three categories. First is business, second is data analytics, and third term is big data. So, if I say combinedly, if any organizations using some kind of analytics or big data analytics, then in which manner a organizations can be benefited, or you can say the effect of big data analytics on the way of doing business, or how organizations can improve their business processes, their business profits, their increased revenue. So these are the basic objective to my presentations, so that if any organizations using some kind of data analytics, so how, in which manner they can be benefited if they are using data analytics. So I divide my presentation basically in three category. First, 3 points are related to basically what is business, what do you mean by business intelligence, intelligence decision making, and the factors which affect the business intelligence capability of an organizations. Second, what is data analytics, how it is important, why it is important, and next point that is related to big data. What do you mean by big data? If an organization using some kind of data and big data analytics, so what will be the advantage of doing this? And if an organization is going to implement some kind of data analytics, what changes they need to be faces? And after that, what are the mechanisms that if we need to use to implement big data analytics, so that organizations can take the advantage of their some kind of big data analytics. And last, I will give an example of a big data analytics model implementations, that is the Hadoop, that can be used, that is very popular, and it's a Java based platform that is used by many organizations to implement their big data analytics, or take the advantage of this models. So these are the basic contents that is related to business. What is data analytics? Then next, what is big data, and what is big data analytics, and the advantage of doing big data analytics. And at last, I will cover some real world example or uses that will define the in which manner organization are taking the benefits of big data analytics, right? So come to the next slides. First point is, what is business? Simply, if I can define business, any activity, yeah, any activity with which done with the intention of earning profits. We can say selling of goods or services. It's related to business. If we are doing some kind of business, we are selling something, we are providing some services, as combinedly we can say product. So that we can say that we are doing some kind of business. So next thing is business intelligence. Business intelligence means we can define business intelligence as a set of theories or techniques or tools or methods or any other way which is used by organizations to convert their raw data, yeah, or all data, or all kind of data which they have, to meaningful information, so that that meaningful informations can be used by them in their decision making process, so that they can achieve their predefined goals which they want to achieve, or which they have been targeted to achieve in a particular year, or how do we want to improve their businesses. So this business intelligence help in this way, by getting meaningful information, by doing some kind of analytics, and based on this additional informations, they are be able to take effective decision makings to improve their business process or to make their business profitable. If an organization is using some kind of business intelligence tools or techniques, so what they can do basically, they will be able to identifying, develop, and creating new way of doing business. It will be helpful in effective decision making what they are taking earlier, or And for that purpose, they have to study their historical, operational, or predictive view of business operations. I mean to say, whatever they are doing till now, they have to look back accordingly using some kind of business intelligence tools, and they review their things, and they need to identify where the scope of improvement. So this is known as historical data analysis, operational, that is currently available data, historical, that is previously available data, and predictive view of business means what they can, based on the historical and operational data analysis, they can predict some things, what they can do better to improve their business. So this is business intelligence, which is helpful in improving their business, by improving their business strategies, by developing new ideas, by developing new innovations that can be implemented in their business to improve their business processes. So using some kind of business intelligence always be helpful to organizations to improve their business process, or especially they will make them able to take effective decision making related to any business problem or situations under considerations. This is business intelligence. Next point is, what do you mean by intelligent decision making? Because I'm talking about decision making. So a question is that a decision making, which decision making I can say intelligent decision making. Whenever we have to take decision about some problem, a scenario, or any task. So if we have information, right information at right time, then we are able to take good decisions regarding a situations, problem, or any scenario. So an intelligent decision making, basically we can define it is a high availability of high quality information for decision making purpose. A high quality information means the information should be correct, it should be come from the relevant resources, and it should be available on time whenever it is required. If we don't have, then we can't do decision making. So this is the high quality information's quality, that it should be correct, it should be coming from relevant resources, and it should available on time basis. So this is defined as intelligence decision making. And to get this intelligent decision making, we have to apply, yeah, we have to use some kind of business intelligence tools, yeah, we have to implement some kind of data analytics tools which are able to provide us meaningful informations that is beneficial for our decision makers to take right decision at right time, to solve any problems that is related to uh, our business. And next question is, what are the factors which affect the capability of a decision making of an organizations? Because I'm talking about data analytics. So the things, how much amount of data we are capable to process, what type of data we are capable to analyze, and in which speed, yeah, efficiency we are able to process our available data, and what are the result of our big data analytics. Yeah, you can say the output format in which our data analysis result are coming. Is it comfortable that on that behalf we can take good decisions, or you can say this is the visualization of basically analyzed data. So if our analyzed data come in the good visualization form, such as graph and pictures, then the decision maker take good decisions quickly and in a frequent manner and in the best possible way. So these are the things: amount of data, what kind of data, suppose is structured, unstructured, semi-structured, and how speedily we are able to process that data, and what are the format of analyzed data. These are the components which will directly affect our intelligence decision making capability. So these are the factors which affects our decision making capability. That is basically related to the type of data and amount of data. Next point is data analytics. As I discussed, data analytics, simply we can define data analytics is a process in which our intention is that we have to review our existing data with the intentions of finding new informations that will be helpful to improve our business, or that will be helpful to take our decision quickly that is related to improving our business. And for that, we have to analyze our existing data with multiple angles, you can say multiple views, multiple dimensions, and find out something new based on the some hidden patterns or correlated patterns, basically which is come out through applying some kind of statistical mathematical processes or on our existing data, and that will produce our some hidden informations, yeah, correlations, and that need to be visualized in a generalized manner to the decision maker persons so that they can take the good decisions. So this is the data analytics. Is a simple way reviewing existing data with the intention of finding additional informations that can be benefited to our decision makers to take good decision at right time, to improve their business in terms of improving their business process, higher customer satisfactions, to improve their products qualities, to take the competitive advantage of business. Suppose other organizations are working in the same stream in which we are working. So our data analytics will help in which manner, how we can compete with them, what we can do best that we can compete with our competitive organizations. Next point is importance of data analytics. Means what are the need of doing data analytics? Because every organization uses data to the optimized utilization of their available resources to find out to achieve the predefined goals by doing some kind of better decision making. Every organizations, I can define some kind of resource. Suppose every organizations deal with money, every organization deal with manpower, every organizations having material, every organization using machinery. So these are the resources, and when we have resources, then we have associated data, and these data is the things. If we are able to analyze this associated data properly at right time, then we can say we are able to manage our resources, available resources properly for their better utilization, or you can say optimized utilizations that will be beneficial to achieve our predefined goals. So this is the things that is critical, that is called data. Data is a very important asset for an organizations that can be related to any resource, anything. So as much as we are capable to analyze data and find out new additional informations, then we will be able to take good decisions, and that will be beneficial to our improve our business. So today organization are more reliant on data to drive their business decisions and to improve their business process, and for new research and development, and to improving their new businesses. As per IBM observations or other important company organizations, on daily basis, we are producing data into terabytes or zettabytes level. That is around 10 raised to power 12 or 21 bytes per seconds. So this is the data which is coming from all sides for an organization. So this is totally on us, how much data we are capable to analyze so that we can take the advantage of data analytics. Next and very important point after data analytics, big data. Because till now I was talking about the data analytics. The next term is big data analytics. So first we need to understand what is the big data, and if an organization is using some kind of big data analytics, so how, in which manner they can be benefited. As I told you, big data, a data that is very large in amount, which is very varied in type, that may be structured, unstructured, semi-structured, and very importantly, it is generating at very fast speed, and more importantly, it is coming from the various multiples locations. So these are the three important dimensions which are associated with big data. The volume is very high, The variety of data is very different. It may be text, video, images, audio, pictures, images, and velocity. That means the speed with which it is coming to us. We have to collect it. So these are the things that make the data big data. Means if data is producing in such a way that it is very large, it is structured to unstructured, and it is generating continuously and coming from multiple resources, so we should be able to capture, collect, classifies, and process these kind of data. So then I will say that we are able to process big data. So for example, we can say sensor data, climate data. Suppose I talk about weather forecasting data. It is the example of big data. CCTV data, we can say at various places we place CCTV to capture continuous scenario. So this is the live data. This is the example of big data. Log files which are generating on big servers and systems, post on social networking sites. That is too much, as you assume how much social posting is there continuously on Facebook, Twitter, blogs, and at all. Online shopping sites data, call records. We are using telecom domain. If we are talking telecom domain, there is a too much call records, airlines data, hospitality data, and the images and text which are available in Wikipedia. So these are the example of big data. If we are able to process these data on right time in a proper way, then we can take the advantage of their analysis in improving our businesses. So these are the example of big data. Next is advantage of big data analytics. That means if an organization is capable to process or analyze the data which I just discussed, that is big data, then in which manner they can be benefited. If an organization is able to process big data, then they can be benefited in higher customer satisfactions. Suppose they are able to analyze customer behavior data, then on that database data analysis, they can predict their requirements, and on that basis they can improve their business process, and then they can become their customer more satisfied. So this is the most important and advantage of, for any business point of view, the satisfaction of customers. Second, improve business processes. By improving and the analysis of their existing way of doing business process, they can improve their business process. Then increase revenue. If businesses will go in the right direction in a proper way, then definitely organization will be benefited in terms of finance, or you can say they will come in more profitable category. Then if we are doing process properly by doing some kind of associated data analysis and improving our things, so we can reduce our operating cost and time of doing any kind of process. And next one is gaining competitive advantage. That means if we are doing some kind of business analytic of our surrounding data, then we will be able to in the stage that other organizations are doing what kind of process, how new things they have been implemented, what their customers, what they are doing for their customers. If that kind of information we have, then on that behalf, on that kind of data analysis, we can take a competitive advantage of our business. Last is customized product. On the basis of customer related, behavior related data, we can identify the what is actually customer like, what they don't like, and what is their actual behavior, and what are their needs. So on that kind of data gathering, we can analyze them, and we can provide their personalized recommendations. We can provide predict their requirements. For example, if we are talking Amazon and on any online shopping sites, these sites using some kind of machine learning technology, they just capture the interaction of customer with their sites, and next time whenever they are login, they predict their recommendations. Yeah, they show their content with personalized recommendations, what actually they are looking for. So they already know what kind of customer is looking what kind of things. So accordingly, they have analyzed earlier their interaction with their applications, and on that behalf they just predict and they recommend their personal recommendations. You can say this is the part of machine learning and data analytics combinedly to take the customized product creations, right? So these are the benefits that can be organizations can be benefited if they are doing some kind of business data analytics. Next point is challenges in big data analytics, because as I told you, big data is very large in amount. It is producing very continuously. It is producing at very high rate. It is varied from type from unstructured to semi-structured. So these are the characteristics of big data. So to handle that kind of data, first thing we need to capture the data from which resources these are coming. Then we have to collect or store it at some place. Then after that, we need to apply some kind of searching, and then we need to classification of that data to before started its analysis. Then we have to clustering of data, means the related data we need to collect at same place, that is called clustering. And after come to the point of clustering, we are coming to the stage of analysis these kind of data. And after analysis of the data, whenever we have identified the hidden patterns or correlations that is useful to be that need to be converted in some kind of visualizations, and that visualization ultimately need to convert into general form or general informations that is useful for end user, or you can say the decision maker. So that in graph form, in images form, in pictures form, so that they can directly look on them, and then they can they can do better decision making. So these are the operations which I need to done with our big data. Check it's either it's normal data, either it's big data. So whenever we process big data, so these are the things that need to be done. And doing these things with big data require running multiple software operations on multiple nodes in parallel, because data is very big, coming from multiple resources, coming very speedily, and that very different type of devices is attached with them. So we have to process all kind of data. We can't process that kind of data using a single machines. We need some kind of parallel processing that may be come in parallel or on a distributed environments. So this is the challenge, that we have to running multiple software applications on different nodes to do process these big data in parallel, so that we can do some kind of analytics. So these are the challenges of implementing these operations by using some kind of applications. Now come to the point, big data analytics model. This is actually the things which is going to implement the all processing which we need to implement, which I discussed in challenges in VDA. Means for processing of data, we need to capture, then store, searching, classification, clustering, analysis, visualization, and then generalizations. So we need some kind of a tool or model or programming model that support the processing of our big data in a distributed environment at very fast speed. So there is a model that is called Mapreduce programming model. This model basically a distributed programming model that support the parallel processing of data on number of nodes. Means this model basically programming model has been implemented in various languages. This has been implemented in C languages. This is implemented in Java languages. The most common popular solution of big data analytics is Hadoop framework. That is the Hadoop framework that is implemented of Mapreduce framework in Java. And this is this Mapreduce model can be implemented in Python, Yarn, Pig, in any scripting language. So this is the programming model which is have been developed to process big data. Now, the basic components, no matter in which language it has been implemented, MapReduce models, it has basic components. First, input reader, output reader. Input reader, basically the things that is used to collect the data which is coming from the different resources and various speed and in high amount. So the component which is used to collect the data is known as input reader. Output writer is the things that after analysis of data, we have to reflect in some kind of dashboarded, to convert into the generalized form. So this is the component known as output writer. Map and reduce function. This is the core part of any MapReduce programming model, where programmers need to write some kind of map and reduce functions. That map function basically used to map a big amount of data on different nodes where it will be processed. And after mapping and after completion of processing of a specific problem, then we need to collect the results of their processing. Then reduce function come into the picture. This functions is also written by the developer. So the definition of map and reduce function depend basically what kind of problem we have to solve, and accordingly the developer need to write map and reduce functions, and that map and reduce functions are called by Mapreduce framework that is running on a master server. And a master server call this run this Mapreduce functions, and this then they can be in further manner they can be again called in retrieve in a iteration way on other nodes. Then come in partitioning functions. We have to, because we have a big amount of data, so that can be processed on not on a single nodes. So we have its partition on multiple nodes before starting its analysis. So this is the work of partitioning function. This is last is comparison function, because we have to do partition of data, and that is very big in amount, in variety. So first of all, we need to some kind of classification and comparison before putting it into the right nodes. So these are the basic 5 components which is available in any kind of MapReduce programming model, and these components need to be implemented. Okay, now I'm taking the most popular example of MapReduce framework implementation. As I told you, MapReduce framework have been implemented in many languages. So the most common solution of big data analytics implementation is Apache Hadoop framework. It is totally 100% free. It is the implementation of MapReduce programming model, or you can say map and reduce functions have been developed in Java language, and this framework is work in a distributed computing environment. Means there are multiple nodes which are connected through the network, and they are distributed at different geographical locations, and they will produce big data at their end, and after that completion of process, the result is coming on the master nodes, come back and ultimately reflected it to the end user or to the decision maker. But for doing this and data analytics, there is a role of multiple nodes of processing big data, right? So it's a Java-based framework that implemented a MapReduce model in Java programming language. It provides the good way of storing and analyzing a huge amount of big data at very fast speed. And it is cost-effective solution. Means if some kind of organization using Hadoop, so their implementation cost is very less as compared to other implementation. Next, Hadoop components. There is a MapReduce components, I told their implementation in Hadoop are known as these components. First, MapReduce framework. This is the framework that is responsible to call map and reduce functions on multiple nodes whenever they need to be executed. Hive is the component that is used for data analytics. Whatever data we have that need to be analyzed. So this is data analytics components, and it is based on SQL development. Cluster is the place where we have to collect our data to be analyzed, and for that we using some kind of technology that is Scoop and Flume techniques that is used to collect data which are coming from multiple resources. Zookeeper, because the Hadoop has a many components to process big data. So the management of Hadoop services, this is the component by which we can manage various Hadoop services. Next is OZ, because big data in Hadoop framework is processed on multiple nodes which are exist on distributed locations in a distributed environment. So management of these nodes, how many nodes we will use, in which manner they will communicate it, if there is node is failure, how it will be recovered, how data will be marshaled to one node to another if there any kind of failure. So this kind of things is maintained by OZ and HBase. This is the database basically used by the Hadoop framework to store your big data, and this is the NoSQL database and that is used by in case of Hadoop framework and distributed file system. Because whenever we process big data in case of Hadoop, we have to distribute our data on distributed machines, not on a single place. That's why we will say that our data system is distributed file system. Suppose we have a big files, then we have to put divided data and then need to be placed on multiple nodes on to be processed. So this is the Hadoop uses distributed file system.
Sir,
Power of Hadoop. Yes.
Sir, we have only 3 minutes left for.
So okay. I will just conclude. And power of Hadoop, if we are using power Hadoop for big data analytics, we will be benefited. It uses distributed file system. It provides fast data transfer nodes in various nodes, and if there is a failure, then it supports the quick recovery without interruption of services, or you can say minimum interruption of services. Next point is designing consideration. Means what was the need here, what was the requirements that we think to design Hadoop. First is emerging M2M communication based market. Means our market is based come on mobile to mobile based communications. So this is the things come in minds that should be come to implement such kind of solutions that decision maker can get output of analytics data on their mobiles, and can they take decision anywhere at any place. Second, with big data, there is a location attached, devices attached. So this is the consideration we have to deal when we have to deal with big data analytics. Then big data is very unstructured, structured, and semi-structured. So that is the third thing. So we need to keep in mind that we have to process structured, unstructured, and semi kind of structured type of data. And last important, because many companies are working in the same fields, so we have to take the competitive advantage of business. So this is the designing consideration of Hadoop. And real world BI examples in market, all kind of organization using some kind of business intelligence solutions to improve their business decision making capability. For example, if I talk about telecom domain, so a telecom domain company can use their customer data and behavior data analysis to identify either they should invest their resources to prevent their existing customer by making their repetitive buyer, or they should look for another new buyers. Means they should invest their resources in which direction. Retail domain, by the analysis of previous wearing trends. If I talking about a retail domain, then we can identify it at a particular time in our stock what we should item we should maintain whenever they become in high demand, and after that our inventory will not go out of excess. So this is the retail domain. And next one is market research. By the analysis of market data, we can identify our new customers, their needs, their personal preferences. If there, we have to, we have to
close this session, sir. We are running out of time.
Okay, then we have to retrieve our historical data. And last is hospital quality and efficiency of care and sales forecasting. And there we can benefited by our data analytics. So thank you so much. If there is any questions, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir. We'll close.
Okay, thank you.